Welcome everybody to another edition of your video homework. And if you're wondering, yes, there will be a quiz in the beginning on this material at the beginning of class next time I see you. So today we're going to be talking about identifying and citing sources, general research methods. I gave you guys this at the end of class. Please make sure you keep it, hold on to it, keep it safe. You're going to need to go back and review it multiple times throughout the year. So, what happens when you're doing a research paper is the reason why you're doing a research paper is because you don't know the material, you don't know the topic that you're writing about. So you're going out and finding things to write about and finding ways to finding things to formulate an argument and prove the point that you're trying to make. So if you just go out and take words that somebody else said and put them in your paper and present it as your own, that is stealing. And there are some major implications for that. There are some major repercussions, which we will go over next class. However, if you were to take someone's ideas and put them down and you cite them, that is okay. And it doesn't necessarily have to be quotations or actual words that you copy and paste, but generally any idea that you take. So, general rule of thumb, when in doubt, cite. Next thing I want to talk to you guys about is our types of sources. We have down here the best to worst. We will be going over worst to best in that order, and with some pretty good examples that I was able to find pretty quickly. So first example that I want to give you guys as far as a worst article and a worst place to go get news is places like mock news websites or tabloids, people that are trying to make more of a joke than an actual point. One of the most famous mock news websites is The Onion. They claim that they are America's finest news network, but if you see down here, their headline today is "Scientist receives a $10 million grant to melt stuff." I highly doubt that the University of Maryland at College Park is getting a grant to melt army men with a Bunsen burner. So whenever you see articles like this, whenever you see websites like this where they tend to be making more of a joke, or whether they're just saying some really out there and bizarre things, that's not exactly the best thing to use. The next one for not so good is blogs. And blogs can be kind of dangerous because they can kind of almost hide as a website. So the blog that I found today is irishgenealogynews.com. If you were to look right up here, you would think it was a normal website, but it is in fact a blog. Blogs are going to have, this one is actually from Blogspot, which is a Google thing. And I got the little Blogspot album right there. I have Nextblog right there, Create Blog, Sign In. Anything that has something like this or similar to it, where it's talking about blogs, chances are it is a blog. Now what makes this blog interesting is this Irish genealogy news website has some random person, I don't know who, I'm not seeing a name on here, but they're talking about how you can go and find old dog records, and that they're finding old license registers and at Find My Past, and you might be able to go in there and find records from old family dogs. Obviously, this is some groundbreaking stuff and very important in today's world. So because it's so important, we're going ahead and try and cut this off because it's not exactly the type of source that I want to use, because it's just some random person who really, given this situation, doesn't even give their own name out there, which also says something. Next thing I want to talk to you guys about is the OK sources, like friends and family and websites like Wikipedia. Friends and family you can always trust. They're always filled with great information, and they're always going to be there for you, so you can't write them off as not so good or some of the worst things you can get. There's definitely worse that you can get than friends and family to get your information from. The problem with getting information with friends and family is, generally speaking, for most of us, our friends and family are not experts That makes this a problem to really trust every single little bit of information that they give you. And it's always best to do the research for yourself and find things out by yourself. So that's why these things are just okay. Websites like Wikipedia that are open source, meaning anybody can go in there and change them. Generally speaking, they're kept under a decent amount of regulation, and most of the time, the information on there is going to be correct. For example, if I go down here and check out Wikipedia, I pulled up the United States Secretary of Defense, and we get the flag of Secretary of Defense, the seal, those are all correct, and Chuck Hagel, who is the current Secretary of Defense. This is all true. However, because it is open source, sometimes people are able to go in and change things. And my favorite example of this was shortly after a record-setting performance by Tim Howard, the United States goalie in the World Cup this summer in 2014. Somebody went into Wikipedia and changed the United States Department of Defense website and listed Tim Howard as the Secretary of Defense. Obviously, if the guy is playing goalie for the United States, he is not exactly helping out with the true defense of the country. So because of certain instances like this, you cannot exactly trust Wikipedia, but for general things, it's okay to get a start from. Not really something you really want to base hard research on. Generally speaking, whenever you have sources where people are going through and they're able to type up whatever they want, this is one of my favorite little threads of Homer Simpson where he goes, "What he says is true because it's in all caps. Are you going to argue with all caps?" "Why does that even make it right?" Marge says. "Well, he took the time to press the shift key, Marge. I think he knows what he's talking about." Obviously, we can all hit a shift key, so that doesn't make us all experts. Better places to go and get your sources is stuff like your news sources, which is going to be like CNN, Fox, MSNBC, CBS, Al Jazeera, BBC, the list goes on. To write and publish things for these people, you have to go through schooling. You have to learn. These people are in the field. They're not exactly experts on every single thing they're writing on, but they are experts in being able to look at a situation, write something about it, and report the facts. That is their job. That's what they do, and they've been trained for it. So, generally speaking, news websites are a better place to go than anything else that we've talked about. However, since they're not true experts in the field, then they can't exactly be the best thing to look at. The best thing to look at is going to be things written by actual experts. Whenever any expert has written anything, it's going to go into a academic journal. So we're going to go to the VCU website. We're going to look up a court case that is on your list of court cases to check out. And we're going to look at Mapp v. Ohio. All right. Now, wait. I did this wrong. Sorry. Let me copy this down. I'm going to go to Academic Search Complete, which is a database to help me find articles within journals. I'm going to post this in here, and then we're going to need to do some tweaking with the results because I'm probably going to get a bunch of results, and I really only want the results that are going to be fairly recent. So I would like this published sometime between the last 10 years. So we're going to go 2004 to 2014, and we're going to want something that's published in a periodical because I want something that's written by one of the experts in the field. I want to make sure it's in English. We'll go ahead and do that. And most importantly, I want to make sure it is full PDF text because there's really nothing much worse than finding a source that could work and then finding out you can't read it. So we're going to search here, and we're going to find, and the first thing that's going to pop up, we have five results here. The first one is Mapp v. Ohio Revised. We're going to click on this, and down here we're going to see some things here. We're going to see the author, Polly Price Jr., Journal of Supreme Court History. This was written 2010, so you can tell it's recent. Uh, to be able to be published in the Journal of Supreme Court History, or any journal for that matter, you have to do a lot of research. It has to go through a whole editing process. It has to be approved and submitted with a bunch of other people's work. It has to get picked out, and then it gets published in a journal. So it is very difficult to get published. Let's see if I can get a little bit of a bio on Mr. Price. Oh, no, it's just going to show me other things that he's written. But chances are Mr. Price is going to be a professor at a university somewhere. But he's definitely an expert. At least he was able to get this published in an expert's journal. So let's go ahead and look at the article, and we can see that the article is going to look fairly bland, but it's going to have some of the best information that you can get. So when you're going through any kind of article, whether you're getting it off of something that could be labeled as better or best, which is what you should be picking up, you need to make sure that you cite it and cite things properly. All right, so to cite things properly, we're going to use a tool called RefWorks. Now, what RefWorks is an online tool that gives us the opportunity to cite things and cite them properly. So to do this, you go in, you log in, you come to this screen, you'll click on New Reference, and the first thing you want to do is you'll want to fill out the fields. The most important field is we want to make sure that we're in APA, the most recent one. Oh, we're not in the most recent one, so we're going to go for the 6th edition. The reference type is, since this is the Journal of Supreme Court History, we want to make sure that we're on journal article. You can pick whatever you need here. There are a ton of options. Things you might need to use for this lesson: court case decisions, news articles, stuff like that. But we're doing a journal article. You want to make sure you get the author's name, the title, and fill out all of these boxes right here. In this case, I went ahead and filled this out. The author's name was right here. The source was the Journal of Supreme Court History, published in 2010, Volume 35, Issue 1, pages 54 to 70, and then the DOI, which is right here. So when you go back, so you'll type everything in there, copy and paste it, whatever you need to do, and then we'll get back to the screen where this source will be. Once we have all of our sources written down that we're going to use, we're going to click down here for Create Bibliography. We're going to make sure we're in 6th APA format. We're gonna go ahead. We'll just keep it in HTML for now, and we'll create the bibliography. Let's go ahead and click right here to take a look at it, and we have our bibliography. So what you would do with this, simply take this, copy it, go into Microsoft Word. Let's go, new blank document. Go into Microsoft Word, type your works, cited page, and you paste that right there. Now, what happens when you are citing in your paper, you'll have your quote, blah, 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 and then right after that, we're going to go ahead and put this, and we're going to go price, comma, and the page number. So the page number for this, we're going to say page 58. All right, awesome. Thank you guys very much. And that is the end of your video today.